Okie dokie. We're going to take a little bit of a break from the syntax of TypeScript, learning about things like type annotations and object types, array types, type aliases, interfaces. And instead, we're going to talk about configuring the TypeScript compiler, basically a bunch of settings. Now, this could go anywhere in the course. A lot of instructors will put it first, but I think it's important to just start you typing code. And even if we're not making things, we're at least writing code. We're not just checking boxes and changing settings. But we have to cover this somewhere, and I thought it would be nice to break up some of the syntax with this configuration stuff. Now, I'm going to keep this as brief as possible because, as you'll see, there are so many settings. In fact, if we just go to the TypeScript playground, just in the browser to start, and you can follow along with this. You don't have to use VS Code at all. And there's this whole drop down under tsconfig, and take a look at all these checkboxes, all these different settings we can change. So I have yet to see a course that actually goes through all of these. Even longer courses that are 20 hours, they still kind of skim through this and show you the highlights. That's my plan. I don't want to bog us down with probably the most boring possible section if I went through each of these. But I'm going to show you the important stuff. Now this is the playground where it's all in the browser. You don't really write full applications here, but we can play around with things. But of course, I'm going to be doing this in VS Code. So I've made a new folder. There's nothing in it yet. And what I'm going to do to start is actually run a new command, which is tsc, let me make this a bit larger, for TypeScript, --init. So I can do this from an external terminal app, or I can do this from in here if I just open the terminal within VS Code, make sure I'm in the right directory. So that's where I want to be. Configuring TypeScript, that's the name of my folder. Configuring TypeScript, is that where I am here? No, good thing I checked. All right, so this is my empty folder. And I can run this command, tsc for TypeScript --init. And this is just going to make me a tsconfig.json file. And this is where I'll put all of where I change all the settings, basically what you see here, except it's a JSON file. So I now have a tsconfig.json file. Let's take a look at it in here. There it is. And there's a lot here. Lots of comments. So there's some settings that are currently active, like target ES5. We'll go over what that means. Module CommonJS. Strict, true. But then there's, 100, maybe 75 different settings that are commented out. And they all have a little explanation too alongside. So it's actually pretty helpful, but it still is overwhelming. And it's a JSON file. So of course we need to use JSON syntax. Double quotes for all of our strings, all the properties there, not single quotes. And we're not going to touch this just yet. I just wanted to show you, this is how we make that file, how we get access to it. tsc-init. And then we're going to tweak this file throughout the section. And then let's go ahead and just make a new file in here. We'll just call it index.ts. Let's make this a bit larger for you. And I'll put some basic TypeScript in here, like let's define an interface, chicken, which needs to have a breed of a string, and it needs to have a productivity or eggs per week. That has to be a number. And then a name should be a string. All right. And then let's make a single a single chicken const, and then we'll call her Norma. She's of type chicken. Breed will be a silky chicken. That's what some of my chickens are. I can't remember if it's IE or Y. We'll go with IE. Eggs per week, she's not that productive. So we'll say she gives us maybe 4 eggs per week. And then name, oh boy, I cannot type. Name will be Norma. Okay, again, this is all just here. What's it complaining to me about? Oh, obviously I need an equal sign. This is just here so we have something to compile. I've got my TypeScript, right? I have no JavaScript that's been compiled from it, but now I'm going to run my command that we've already seen before, the tsc command. I'm going to do tsc index.ts. Or just do it from within the integrated terminal. It doesn't matter. And if I was using the playground, I don't run this command. Instead, I just take my code, my TypeScript code, I put it in the left side, and then I see the compiled JavaScript immediately on the right side. It just does that for me. But That's not what VS Code does. That's not how we use TypeScript, especially if we have a massive application that might actually take a little time to compile. It won't just automatically compile. We have to tell it to. All right, so let's do that. TSC index.ts, that's the name of my file. It finished up, and now I have index.js, and there we go. We've got our compiled JavaScript. That's it for this video. Next, let's change some settings.